What's up guys, welcome back. Today we are covering HTTP headers. We have already covered multiple parts of the HTTP request. So we've covered the request line, which includes the method like get, post, put, delete. We've covered the URI, which is basically the route that we've had to define. We've covered the body. This is the JSON request or the JSON response we get back that is converted to objects in Java. What we haven't covered yet is the headers. So with each HTTP request, there is a header, and a header essentially has a list of key value pairs. So common ones include content type. You can define, hey, what is the thing that I'm sending you? Is it JSON? Is it an Excel spreadsheet? Is it an image? And this allows for better processing. You can send authorization in the header. We'll cover that in another mini-series on Spring Boot security. You can also define accept, which means, hey, these are the types of things that we accept for this request. You can also define your own, and that's what we're going to do with our starter video, is we're going to define our own HTTP header called region. So we're going to look for the HTTP request coming in, and we're going to look at the header. If the header is USA, we're going to respond with Bald Eagle Freedom. If the header is CAN, we're going to respond with I Bleed Maple Syrup. And we'll also have to handle edge cases like region not listed or null. And this is just the starter video. We're going to have a whole series on headers. Okay, let's get started. So make your way over to your project. We're going to need a new controller. I'm going to call it header controller. We're going to annotate it with @rest controller. And let's expose a new endpoint. It will be a get mapping. And we'll just say /header. We're going to keep it simple and say public string get regional request. So we're going to pass into the method an annotation @request_header, and it will be a string called region. So let's just write some if statements. If the region is equal to USA, return Bald Eagle Freedom. If the region equals CAN, return I Bleed Maple Syrup. And then we'll need one more condition, country not supported. So if anything else gets passed in besides USA or Canada, then we will give this message. Okay, go ahead and run your application and let's test it out. So over in Postman, I have created a new request. It is a get request, localhost 8080/header. So clicking on the headers tab, I'm going to put in the key of region and the value of USA. And we get Bald Eagle Freedom, which is exactly what we expected. If we change this value to CAN, we get I Bleed Maple Syrup, again, exactly as we expected. Let's pass in another value, AUS, and country was not supported. So every condition was covered successfully. However, what happens if I uncheck this box? We get a bad request. And if we look at the error, it says missing request header exception. So it won't even let you run this method. To fix this, we can pass in another parameter to our @request_header annotation. So we can say required is equal to false. So even if we don't have a header in the request, it will still handle it. Let's go ahead and rerun our application. So let's run it again with no header. And we're still getting an error. Well, what's happening here? If we scroll up, it's a null pointer exception. So essentially what's happening is our method implementation takes the region and then checks to see if it's equal to USA. But because we didn't define a header, the region is null. So it's trying to compare USA to null. So we'll have to do one more thing to be able to handle this. We'll pass in one more value, so default value is equal to USA. And what this does is says, okay, if the region is null, or if it was never passed to us, the default value is USA. Go ahead and run this again. And you can now see we get Bald Eagle Freedom, which is the USA header. If I pass in USA, I still get the same response. If I pass in CAN, I get I Bleed Maple Syrup, and then if I pass in a different one, we get country not supported. So now every single use case is now covered. Okay, good job. Now before I leave, just a quick disclaimer. You should not be writing business logic on your controller. I simply put it here because this is the simplest path to explain what's going on. You should abstract this out into another method like a query handler. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.